The story of an abandoned car always sparks curiosity, but when it's about a Ford Mustang Shelby Cobra GT500, the level of fascination doubles. Cars like the Shelby GT500 are not just vehicles, they are rolling legends that carry history, culture, and passion within every curve of their body and every roar of their engine. An abandoned Shelby Cobra GT500 tells a different tale, one of neglect, forgotten dreams, and missed opportunities. But when such a car is rediscovered and restored, the journey becomes nothing short of breathtaking. This is the story of one such Mustang Shelby Cobra GT500, left to rot, gathering dust, slowly sinking into the earth of time, until a team of passionate restorers brought it back to life, proving once again why this car is an icon in the automotive world. It all began when a car enthusiast stumbled upon a rusty shape hidden under a broken wooden shed at the edge of a countryside property. From afar, it looked like a carcass of a once beautiful beast. The body was dull, its once bright paint almost stripped away by decades of rain, heat, and dust. Tires were deflated, windows cracked, and the hood covered in layers of grime. But as the man pulled back the weeds and debris, he realized he was looking at something extraordinary, a genuine Ford Mustang Shelby Cobra GT500, one of the most respected muscle cars of all time. The realization hit hard. This was no ordinary car, this was a piece of history. The GT500 was born in the late 1960s when Carroll Shelby, the legendary racer and automotive designer, partnered with Ford to create a performance version of the Mustang. While the Mustang itself was already a cultural sensation, Shelby's touch turned it into something even more brutal and exhilarating. The Shelby GT500 was fitted with a monstrous 428 cubic inch V8 engine, delivering raw horsepower that gave it its signature growl and aggressive speed. Its muscular body design, bold stripes, and snake emblem made it one of the most recognizable and desirable cars in America. For collectors and enthusiasts, the Shelby Cobra GT500 represents the golden age of muscle cars. But here was one, forgotten and abandoned, left to die slowly under harsh weather conditions. Most people would have walked away, thinking the car was beyond saving. Yet, the magic of restoration lies in seeing potential where others see ruin. The restoration team decided to take on the challenge, knowing well that it would take countless hours, immense dedication, and significant investment. Restoring a Shelby Cobra GT500 is not just about fixing metal and mechanics, it's about reviving a legend, honoring history, and bringing back the soul of a machine that once ruled the roads. The process began with carefully transporting the car to a workshop. Moving it wasn't easy, the axles had rusted, the tires were dead, and parts of the frame were fragile. It took cranes, dollies, and expert handling just to load the car without causing further damage. Once inside the garage, the real work began. The first step was disassembly. Every bolt, nut, and component was carefully removed and catalogued. Rust had eaten deep into the body panels, the frame showed signs of corrosion, and the engine looked like a giant block of decay. But hidden beneath the layers of rust was still the heart of the Shelby Cobra GT500. The body required extensive work. Panels had to be cut out and replaced with new metal. Welders and craftsmen spent hours reshaping the Mustang's curves to bring back its iconic silhouette. Sandblasting was used to strip the paint and rust, revealing bare metal that could be treated and prepared for a new coat. The team faced constant challenges. Finding authentic parts was a nightmare, as original Shelby components are rare and expensive. Yet, determination fueled the project, and every piece that went missing was either sourced through dedicated collectors or fabricated with precision to match the original design. Meanwhile, the engine, the very soul of the Shelby GT500, was treated with utmost respect. The 428 Cobra Jet V8 was carefully dismantled. Pistons, valves, crankshaft, all had to be examined, restored, or replaced. The block was cleaned, machined, and rebuilt to factory specifications. The restorers decided not to modify the engine with modern technology, as the goal was authenticity. They wanted the car to feel exactly like it did when it rolled out of the factory decades ago. When the rebuilt engine was finally placed back under the hood, it was like returning the heartbeat to a sleeping giant. The interior was no less challenging. Years of neglect had left the seats torn, dashboard cracked, and instruments broken. The restorers sourced original leather, carefully stitched to recreate the same look and feel as the 1960s models. Wooden steering wheels, classic gauges, and chrome details, all were restored with precision. Every detail mattered, from the Shelby Cobra badges to the shift knob, because this car wasn't just being repaired, it was being reborn. Painting the body was another milestone. The team chose to return the car to its original livery, a dazzling shade of metallic blue with twin white racing stripes running from the hood to the rear. Watching the paint dry on the freshly restored body was a magical moment. The car that once looked like scrap metal now gleamed under the lights, ready to reclaim its title as a king of the road. The final assembly brought everything together: the restored wheels, polished chrome bumpers, shining headlights, and signature Shelby emblems completed the masterpiece. After months of painstaking work, the day came for the Shelby Cobra GT500 to roar back to life. The garage was filled with anticipation as the key was turned. At first, the engine coughed, as if remembering its long sleep, but then came the growl, the deep, thunderous sound of the Cobra Jet V8. It was music to every car lover's ears, the kind of sound that makes the ground tremble and the heart race. The restoration was complete. When the car finally rolled out of the garage, it wasn't just a vehicle, it was a symbol of passion, patience, and the belief that no legend should be left to die. People who saw the restored Mustang Shelby Cobra GT500 couldn't believe it was the same abandoned wreck found under a shed. The transformation was astonishing. From a forgotten relic, it had become a jewel of the automotive world once more. Driving the restored GT500 was an experience that words could barely capture. The steering was raw, the acceleration brutal, and the sound intoxicating. It wasn't like driving a modern car with all its electronic aids and comforts. This was pure muscle, a car that demanded respect and rewarded courage. Every shift of the gear, every push of the pedal, every roar of the exhaust reminded the driver why the Shelby Cobra GT500 became a legend. For the restoration team, it wasn't just about bringing back a car, it was about preserving history. Cars like the Mustang Shelby Cobra GT500 are part of a culture, a representation of an era when power and style defined American roads. Restoring one is like bringing a piece of that era back to life, allowing new generations to witness and appreciate what true muscle cars were all about. The story of this restoration is also a reminder that beauty and greatness can be hidden beneath layers of dust and rust. What seems lost can be saved, and what looks dead can be revived with enough dedication. The Shelby Cobra GT500, once abandoned and forgotten, now stands as proof of resilience, not just of metal and machine, but of human passion. The car went on to be showcased at automotive events, drawing crowds wherever it appeared. Enthusiasts admired the accuracy of the restoration, while older fans shared nostalgic stories of when they first saw or drove a Mustang in their youth. It became more than just a car, it became a bridge between generations, connecting past and present through the roar of its engine and the gleam of its body. Every scar the car once had told a story, and every detail of its restoration told another. Together, they formed a tale of abandonment and rebirth, of neglect and redemption. The abandoned Ford Mustang Shelby Cobra GT500 had returned, not just as a car, but as a legend reborn.